Hello, kiddos, friends, and families. This is Dr. Arazak from Kids GI Care.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wood,
and we are Kids GI Care.
I'm Amal, Kids GI Care dietitian.
Excuse me, Amal, we are about to start a new video.
I thought I showed up to the right one.
We are doing gluten-free talk today.
Oh, but this is my talk. I am the dietitian.
Oh, we work really hard for this video. We hope we can join you.
All right, let us do it.
Gluten-free diet is recommended as the only treatment for celiac disease. It is also recommended for a few other conditions, including wheat allergy, a condition where wheat consumption leads to an allergic reaction, which may include rash, hives, or shortness of breath. Also, a gluten-free diet is recommended for cases of non-celiac disease gluten sensitivity. In this condition, symptoms such as stomach pain, gassiness, or diarrhea appear shortly after eating gluten. The doctor runs all the tests and tells you that your body does not have inflammation related to gluten, even though this does cause intestinal symptoms. It may be considered in other conditions outside of the GI world.
In celiac disease, our immune system is triggered by eating gluten and starts attacking the GI tract, particularly the small villi or fingers lining the surface of the small intestine where most nutrients are absorbed. To stop this cycle, gluten-free diet is essential to heal the inflammation, improve nutrient absorption, and the symptoms.
When going on a gluten-free diet, you spend a lot of effort to keep the diet perfect with no accidental exposure. Recurrent exposure to tiny amounts of gluten could affect your health, ruin your efforts, and of course, cost you a lot of money as gluten-free food is expensive. So please be careful. Wheat is the main source of gluten in the United States. Gluten also comes from other sources, including rye and barley. To make a gluten-free diet easy and simple, we will break down the food into 4 major groups in the following video.
Naturally not gluten-free. Anything that comes from a well-known source of wheat, barley, or rye. This can include pastries and baked goods unless they are labeled gluten-free, and most processed foods and snacks. Here are a list of gluten sources.
The second group is naturally gluten-free. You do not have to think about eating from this group twice. This includes food that comes directly from God, with no changes made by human hands. Here is a small list of food in this group. This leads me to the third group, when the food from the first 2 groups is mixed and becomes not gluten-free. Let's put these together and check what happens. As we discussed, fruits and vegetables are gluten-free, but a fruit salad or a smoothie with added chocolate might not be gluten-free. The same thing applies to vegetables. Making a salad and adding dressing is not necessarily gluten-free unless using gluten-free dressing. Yogurt is another example. Yogurt is gluten-free, but modified yogurt with added cereal or chocolate might change it to not gluten-free.
The last group is cross-contamination. It happens when a gluten-free product carries some gluten and becomes not gluten-free. For example, spices and soya sauce.
French fries are another example of cross-contamination if the fries and chicken nuggets are cooked using the same oil. Flour and spices are added sometimes when preparing the fries, which causes cross-contamination too. It's good to note here that some restaurants have already taken an additional step to avoid these issues. They fry the nuggets and the fries using separate fryers, but it's always good to check before placing your order.
Cross-contamination can happen at home too, so please make sure to don't cause cross-contamination when mixing food using cooking pots and other equipment.
Oats and wheat. Oats are gluten-free and in most cases safe to consume for celiac disease. However, there can be easily some issues with gluten cross-contamination. This can occur if the mill where the oats are grained is also used for wheat, or if the places used to store wheat are also used to store oats. So in general, find gluten-free oats to stay on the safe side. It is important to read the ingredients and labels before buying food. Wheat-free does not always mean gluten-free, as there can contain some traces of barley and rye in these products. Also, manufacturers might change their supply sources, which could lead to a change in the final product, which may make something not gluten-free. Please recheck the labels every once in a while.
Processed gluten-free food can be an issue if consumed in large amounts. Processed food is labeled as a gluten-free if it contains less than 20 parts of gluten per million, which is almost zero. However, consuming a lot of processed gluten-free food can add up and carry some additional exposure to gluten.
Although gluten-free diet is essential for celiac disease, however, it's not necessarily the right diet for you unless you have the correct indication. Here are a few cons for a gluten-free diet. Wheat is an essential source of zinc, folic acid, and fiber, which could be affected when going on a gluten-free diet. It also depends on how gluten is replaced in the diet. Using rice to replace gluten brings additional carbs to the diet. Gluten-free products are accessible in grocery stores and restaurants. However, it's still challenging when trying to find a restaurant that serves gluten-free during a vacation. Sometimes you feel you are left out when invited to a birthday party serving only regular pizza or cake. Gluten-free diet is also expensive. It costs an additional $2,500 on average yearly to follow a strict gluten-free diet.